Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday morning Mind the Moment mindfulness session brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. As you all know, this is the place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to talk with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am very happy to be here this morning with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be with you this morning.
It's nice to see everyone joining. So today, Tara will lead us in a guided practice, and after that, we'll have some time for questions. So I wanted to encourage all of you to open up the chat at the bottom of your screen and choose, if you like, panelists and attendees, if you'd like to see what's going on in our chat real time. And you can go ahead and be part of the discussion. So I'll hand it off to Tara.
Thanks, Suzanne. Yeah, before we started this, Suzanne and I get on a little early. We were chatting about how much we both kind of like a rainy day, and that it sort of gives you permission to maybe chill a little bit. So I thought before I lead the guided practice, I would just check in with people and just see, like, how's your mood? How did you wake up this morning? How are you feeling? Yeah, so anything that you want to share, just as a way to kind of check in as a community. It's also a little bit chilly out, which I didn't expect. But I don't know. I kind of like it. So Suzanne, while people are thinking about it, how about you? How did you wake up this morning?
Yeah, so I hit the snooze button twice this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So I wasn't quite ready to get up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But once I was up, I felt pretty good. Again, some mornings I'm a little more stiff than others, and I took this long bike ride yesterday, so I felt good this morning. So not initially ready to go, but then I got up and I was feeling good. So yeah.
It's funny. The first thing I thought of this morning was maybe I won't work out today. Like, I don't know. It's like I just almost feel like I have a little permission to kind of chill. But let's see what folks are saying.
We all have to let ourselves do what works for us, right?
Yeah, the chill.
Someone was feeling slow.
Uh-huh.
I'm in connection with David this morning. Energetic, wanting it to be Friday. Likes the light chill. Many of the things I put on my to-do list at the end of yesterday, I'm thinking can wait. No big deal. Tired but relaxed. I like the rain.
Yeah, nice to have a chance to relax. Yeah, there's something about wanting to kind of be cozy under the covers, especially, and also even listening to the rain. There's something kind of comforting about that. And I think, here, at least in New England, to experience the change of seasons is really kind of comforting in a way. There's a certain expectation about what the seasons will bring and how that feels. Let's see what else here. Yeah. All right, good.
I like that one. One other thing I want to share, because people might see this, but the rainy day when I'm on my boat with a good book and no place to go.
Oh, yes.
Into the rain on the boat, and the water is wonderful as long as I'm inside cozy and warm. Wow, does that sound good?
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, let's go ahead and settle in. I don't know how many of you were here Tuesday, but I heard there was a standing practice, which is a really great way to practice, especially if you're sleepy. So for anybody who feels a little extra tired this morning, doing standing practice can, just to help to keep you energized and engaged. But your choice, whatever feels like it's going to serve you best this morning. Go ahead and settle into your chosen posture. And I'll ask everybody to, on your own, do 2 deep breaths as a way just to settle any surface tension. And just with one caveat, just make the exhalation double the length of the inhalation. So you can help to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which just induces naturally relaxation. So just a couple deep breaths on your own. And settle in, allowing the body to surrender into the support of the surface, knowing that you'll be held by what is below you. Softening the body, yet maintaining a spine that is straight but not stiff. Letting go of all that has happened so far today and releasing anticipation of what's to come. So bringing the mind and the body together in this moment. And noticing the physical expression of the activity so far today. So, what is your body offering? Tingling, pulsing, vibration, temperature. Just take a moment, whole body awareness, just notice what's happening. Perhaps noticing the points of contact with the back of the body or the soles of the feet and the contact to the floor or the chair. And just for a moment, open the field of awareness to include sound. So sound that's in the room that you're in, or maybe outside of the room, and without a need to label what's making it, but just simply receiving sound and allowing sound to serve as an anchor for your attention. And as you feel ready, allowing sound to remain in the background as it will, and beginning to bring your attention back inward to the body. And begin to narrow the focus from whole body awareness to awareness of the sensations that you notice when you breathe. So as you inhale and exhale, see if you can locate where in the body that breath sensation is strongest for you this morning. Knowing that it can change, but possibly the abdomen, or you notice it at the chest or even the nostrils, or someplace else. Kind of whole body awareness is fine too. If for any reason the breath is challenging for you this morning as an anchor, you can use sound. So if you have sound in the background that's pretty consistent, or you could take the palms of your hands and rest them on the top of the thighs and use that point of contact as the anchor that you return to. So remember, we're not trying to stop thought. Thoughts are going to be happening. And so we can actually let go of the desire to stop them. And just simply see that each time you've engaged in a memory or planning or worry or excitement, you can just make a soft mental note, thinking, and then escort your attention back to the anchor that you're using this morning. And we just do that over and over and over again. And this helps to strengthen concentration and focus so that mindfulness can do its job most effectively. just works better on a steady platform. So I will be quiet for the next few moments. Noticing where the mind is and reconnecting with your anchor. And again, noticing where the mind is, gently escorting the attention back to your anchor. In just a moment, you'll hear the sound of a chime, and you can move awareness from the anchor that you're using to sound and track. See if you can track the sound all the way out until you can no longer hear it. And if your eyes were closed, you can open them as you feel ready and just reconnect with your surroundings, with the room that you're in. And as you feel ready, reconnecting with each other. So, one thing I just wanted to say, yesterday I was doing a session for one of our corporate clients, and one of the things that came up was, if you have like a muscle cramp or an itch during meditation. And so I feel like we had a good conversation about that. And it kind of was a theme that we kept coming back to. But I want to emphasize that if you have an itch or a muscle cramp, or let's say, an ambulance goes by, there's noise or, a loud sound, always leave your primary anchor when that happens. So there's no need to try to stay with the breath or body sensation. So anytime the attention is pulled, just, drop whatever you're using as the anchor, and then go to that thing. And like for an itch, as an example, you want to see if you can bring your attention to the physical sensation of the itch without actually scratching it. This is where the conversation yesterday got interesting. It's in a way, what you're learning is to have some balance with discomfort, because an itch is mildly uncomfortable, right? It's unpleasant. And so there's often a desire to just scratch it so it'll stop. But one of the things that's interesting to try in this practice is you feel the itch, leave your breath, go to the itch with your attention, and just receive the expression. What does, up the receptivity and the curiosity about the sensations it's producing. And part of what you'll see is whether or not you scratch the itch, it'll leave. So that's true with a muscle cramp as well. So you can, if it's not excruciating, go to the cramp. For me, it often happens in my feet because of running. So I'll sometimes get that in practice, but and you don't have to do it every time. I just say, like, give it a try, but bring the attention to the cramp in the foot, and then it'll kind of do its thing, whether I need it out or not. And so it arises, it has a life, and then it moves. And it's a really significant learning and teaching in this practice. And ultimately, if we start with the little things, that where we can gain some stability with things that are unpleasant, as things in life that are harder we're starting to practice working with that and to have some stability. So it was kind of a big conversation yesterday with the group. So I thought I would just share that this morning. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, Tara, because what I was thinking of as we were discussing sound is when I practice every once in a while, some of my neighbors will have landscapers and have those leaf blowers, which I'm the biggest fan of, in the middle of my practice. And I immediately get this sense of just agitation that it's hard to lose, because when you talk about a constant sound, that's not a constant sound.
Yes.
So it definitely challenges me, because I just immediately kind of get
like a contraction almost, right? And Billy Collins, who's a poet, writes about a barking dog in the neighbor's yard, and he's got a whole riff on that. And then he actually puts the dog in a symphony orchestra, and his relationship to it changes. So Billy Collins' Barking Dog, you can Google it. It's a great poem. But yeah, I mean, even like can you open to that irritation and feel the irritation, you know? And there's also nothing wrong with shutting the windows to
Yeah.
muffle it out a little bit. Let me just see here for a second. Zoom mutes much of the bell. Okay. To play a chime through computer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks so much for that. I did a breath practice while in child's pose the other day. Yeah. Nice. Focused on the ticking clock. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I'm curious if anybody has worked with body pain in the way that I'm describing, or unpleasant, like an itch, if that's something that that you've tried. And you know, the other thing I didn't add, but this kind of is in the mix as well, is that, you know, if you're in a posture and you're starting to feel uncomfortable in that posture, there's a natural inclination to want to move for comfort, right? That's, I mean, it's a human natural desire to want to be comfortable. But again, you know, many of my teachers over the years have talked about, you know, as soon as you see that you're uncomfortable in a posture, that actually don't immediately move for comfort. See if you can be, I mean, of course, if you're cutting off your blood supply or, you know, like in your legs, you've got to move. So, you know, bring that element of, you know, self-care and concern, of course, and do what you need to. So I'm talking about just within reason. I used to have, like, if I would sit for long periods of time, I'd have a lot of like shoulder fatigue. And so I started to work with that from, you know, just what was physically happening? You know, what did it physically feel like? It started to shift my relationship to it, where I actually don't get it anymore. I'm not exactly sure why, but I was willing, you know, there's a willingness to kind of move toward discomfort.
Someone mentioned John Kabat-Zinn's sources about meditation with body pain are helpful.
Yeah. I mean, John will, you know, offer that same turning toward, you know, that we're not actually, and often what happens is that we're not trying to get rid of it. We're trying to see if we can coexist with it, turn toward it, receive it, and have more equanimity or balance with it. Mm. And I see someone saying they have tinnitus. I do too. I get that. Specifically, I have it more in one ear than the other. And yeah, that's a whole other thing, you know, to try to learn to coexist with. Not easy.
Mm. I know I find when I either ride a bike or I'm skiing and I have a helmet on, and you talk about having an itch.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting to find that, you know, sometimes I just, you know, I can't get to, if I have an itch in my head, I can't get to it.
Yeah.
It does remind you, it's a great reminder that things kind of move along.
They move along. Yeah. Like you can trust in impermanence, in the changing nature. It's just a law of the universe. And, you know, so with most of our experiences are pleasant, unpleasant, or somewhere in the middle, neutral, but the neutral ones are not as noticeable because they're neutral. But even with the things that are pleasant, you know, pleasant body sensations, pleasant experiences, there can be a subtle holding on, not wanting them to change, but those will change too. And as we understand this, you know, this process of change, we actually can have even enhance the enjoyment in the good.
Someone was mentioning they recently had to deal with hives, and a breathing session definitely relieves the urge to itch and helps it disappear.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, another one that
some of us deal with chronic pain, have dealt with chronic pain for a long time, but as I know, as we all get older, these kinds of things will become part of our daily lives. So it's, you know, I think of that as a really good practice to get ourselves used to, you know, the suffering that life deals us. So, you know, we know
Yeah, that's a really, really important point, Suzanne. I think, like it's like we're practicing for aging in a way, because, that's, the body as we age tends to run into a few more glitches. And
For sure.
that, it's not welcome. I'm so happy you're here, but it's like we learn to actually have some equanimity or balance with the unpleasant bodily issues that we deal with that tend to increase as we age. Um, yeah.
Someone mentioned chronic pain is sometimes agitated by food sensitivities.
Hmm.
Myself, I have more pain and itches if I eat any gluten.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, really just we have just about a minute to go, and that that the practice mindfulness is really just helping us to have greater balance with all of what life, the curveballs, the joys. It's just that all the good stuff, the joy and the excitement and those things are a little easier to be with. So if it seems like there's more of a focus on the difficulty, I think that's where the grist is, but with the good stuff too, there's often a subtle, like, I don't want this to ever go away or to change, and it will,
Very true.
so, yeah, I just want to thank everybody this morning on this rainy morning for joining, and to wish everybody a good weekend. So I don't know, Suzanne, if there's anything you want
No,
to say. And
happy to be here with everyone this morning. Great discussion. Someone mentioned we need a whole session on aging, which I think is
yes,
probably kind of an
yes,
interesting thought.
yes,
Uh,
right.
But yeah, just a reminder that we're here every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 8:30, and we'll be back here on Tuesday with Zinat Potia. So
Great.
very happy to have her with us next week.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah,
thank
she's
you, Tara.
awesome. Join if you can.
Yeah, she's really
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
thank you, Tara, for all
Yeah.
of your guidance and leading our discussion.
Of
And
course.
I'll see you again next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.
Yeah. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Okay, see you soon.
Hey.